I'm not sure you could have asked for more tantalizing matchups in the division round. Maybe if the Cowboys were still involved, but hey, that's their own fault. The Bucks and Baker story is a great story. And hey, the Packers are a fun team to watch. But I want to ask you, of all the matchups that are going to take place this weekend, which one are you most excited for?
This is an easy answer, cherry picking it. It's the Bills and Chiefs. It's Patrick Mahomes' first playoff road game. It feels like the Bills have some momentum. They can finally beat the Chiefs and get over the hump to the AFC Championship. But then they're going to meet the Ravens. I mean, that one has all the storylines. It has all. It's going to be, in terms of Vegas's lines, it's supposed to be the best game. I think it's an easy answer for everybody involved, unless you're a fan of the team in the playoffs. It's the Bills Chiefs. It's not even close.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the easy answer. I mean, finally, Patrick Mahomes goes on the road. Can the Bills finally get over the hump? This Patrick Mahomes hump that's really stopped them. I think this is their third or fourth time meeting in the playoffs. They've played basically every single season. Every time it goes down to the wire. I think that's the easy answer, and I can't fault you for this. But I'm going to just be a little contrarian here, and I'm going to stick in the AFC, and I'm going to go C.J. Stroud versus Lamar Jackson because I am so intrigued, and I know the spread is like 9.5 points, and there's a very good chance this is a blowout. But I'm so intrigued to see C.J. Stroud on the road, as good as he's been all season, if he can make this one a close game. I'm not even sure it's possible for him to win, but hey, great quarterbacks. They're always kind of doubted until they do something like this. And maybe this is his moment where he just says, hey, I'm an upper echelon quarterback. I'm a top 3-4 quarterback. And I think the other end of the spectrum, when you talk about Baltimore, this is a team that struggled in these situations. They have been a top seed before with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has won one playoff game, and it was like against a crappy team, maybe like Josh Allen's first year in Buffalo. I don't know. I know he's only won like one playoff game. He struggled in the divisional round. They basically are always losing in this divisional round. Now they're 10-point favorites. Can Lamar Jackson do his job, put all the haters to rest against a good rookie quarterback? So I think there's some good storylines on both ends of the spectrum in that game.
Yeah, I agree that obviously the two more interesting ones, if you had to compare them, is in the AFC. There's no doubt about that. And I do think that, this CJ Stroud against Baltimore has a similar, Giant versus, I'm blanking on the
David versus Goliath.
That the Packers and Jordan Love went down to Dallas and upset the Cowboys. I mean, nobody saw that coming. Nobody in their wildest dreams. Packers fans would even tell you that they were just happy to be there, that they were already winning the season, just making the postseason. They were playing with house money. And the Texans, to a certain degree, are kind of having that same kind of feel about this season going to Baltimore. And when you got, like you said, when you got a guy like CJ Stroud, you've always got a chance. Unfortunately, the Texans are running into a buzzsaw. You mentioned it, Lamar, the Ravens, they've struggled. This is by far the best team, especially if they get Mark Andrews back. We don't know that Lamar Jackson has ever had. The defense is absolutely sick. Todd Monken's dialing up plays. Mike McDonald's on the other side, confusing opposing quarterbacks. I think that this Ravens team is the most complete team of the Lamar Jackson era. He's playing the best ball of his career en route to what is likely a second MVP. I mean, other than Mark Andrews, this Ravens team is just stout and ready to go. I think the Texans are going to run into an absolute buzzsaw. I think it's going to be ugly.
The cards are undoubtedly stacked against him. I mean, when you're talking about coaching staffs, I mean, look at the experience of the coaching staffs in these big games. I mean, the Ravens might have the best coaching staff in all of football. Actually, I don't even think it's debatable with Todd Monken, McDonald, John Harbaugh, who's won a Super Bowl, Anthony Weaver, who's out there getting head coaching requests. But then on the other side, when you're talking about coaching, candidates for the Falcons, Bobby Slowick. I mean, what can he cook up against this Ravens defense? Because we know they're going to throw everything at him. Can he find big plays? Because that's really what's going to be able to keep Houston in this game. Can they figure out ways to bust coverage and make big plays in this game and keep it close?
Yeah, a lot of our viewers, watchers, however you're, ingesting this, a lot of you guys are Falcons fans. And I know obviously we're just all NFL fans at this point, but this particular matchup is featuring all kinds of Falcon heads coaching candidates. You've got Bobby Slowick, like you mentioned, offensive coordinator for the Texans. Anthony Weaver is an assistant head coach for the Ravens. He gets the defensive line. And then you got Mike McDonald, who coordinates the entire defense. I mean, this is filled. This game in particular is filled with potential Falcons head coaches.
Yeah, and even Todd Monken, I know he hasn't really gotten any interviews, at least I don't think, but he's a Georgia tie, and I think there's the biggest difference between the Ravens and the previous Ravens teams is Todd Monken. I think he's done an absolutely unbelievable job, just like he did at the University of Georgia.
Greg Roman is no slouch. Greg Roman is a good offensive coordinator.
He's not as good as Todd Monken, apparently. That's all I have to say about that. But yeah, I think that's the AFC is going to be stacked. It's going to be must-watch television, especially for Falcons fans and these head coaching candidates. Coming up after the break, we're going to get into the NFC. It's not going to be boring over there anyways. At least I do not think so.